the companies winning with AI aren't the ones with the biggest budgets. They're the ones who are starting right now. If you've been waiting for someone to cut through the noise and show you exactly how AI could transform your work, your wait is over. Your competitors have already signed up. I'm Kenny, founder of Brim and the host of the AI Opportunity.
Welcome again to our Q&A session that we do at the AI Opportunity. Once a week, we take the audience's questions to give them practical advice on their most burning questions about AI. So this week, we've had a question about where do you start in terms of picking a project when it comes to thinking about implementing AI and starting the work for it. Now, one of the big risks that we see with a lot of companies is when they think of AI, they think of it as a massive transformation project. They want to put AI in everything, but ultimately it really raises the bar of complexity, the bar of adoption risk. It doesn't invite success. If anything, it kind of sets up your projects for potential failure. And so what we like to do when we advise companies and where we've seen the best results is when companies think about implementing AI incrementally and thinking about it in terms of proving value, just like anything else in business. You think very carefully about what value is it going to deliver. And we have a framework where we really split it down into 4 parts. So what is the sort of area of your business that you want to work on? And we like to look for specific areas where we think the work is repeatable, meaning that it happens weekly, it happens daily. It's something that if you apply AI to, you're going to feel the value. Secondly, it's rule-based, so it's something that is predictable, it follows patterns. And that's really about how to make sure that whatever you apply AI to is something that you can easily audit and understand what's going on. We always say to teams as well, when they're picking proof of value, sort of execution, they try and find something that's high friction. Anything that is slow, that's manual, that's boring, that's got real risk to being quite error prone. Ultimately, if it involves a lot of steps and it's got a lot of friction, that's perfect for AI because again, you're going to feel that as an organization. You're going to see the impact and it's a success that you can have that will really propel your team to want to do more and more and really get the benefits of AI. And then the final point that we always look for as a qualifier is it's got to be measurable. You've got to be able to look at the piece of work that you're applying AI to and be able to objectively go, this has got better or it's got worse. So, is it measurable because of the time you spend on it, the error rates, the process itself before and after? Even really subjective points like whether or not you think it's more cost effective. And I say subjective because that can mean a lot to different organizations, right? It could be about margin expansion. It could be about the absolute cost. Costs can mean a lot of things to a lot of organizations, very different things for some companies. And so that framework really helps. And then what we also like to think about is what we call internally hero work. So this is work that is somewhat isolated. So it's maybe done by 1, 2, or 3 people, but it's the sort of work that the business depends on. It's important work. It's the sort of work that if you can enable AI to support you with, then it's going to have disproportionate outcomes for your organization, win you more business, help you improve your margin, help you manage risk better. These are the areas where you really want to be investing because you're going to see the outcomes unlock real outsized value. And so we talk about those as hero workflows, and they are really good to focus on because they allow you to get fast wins. And that's a really powerful internal signal. It gives the organization visibility that AI can really work. And we always think about it in time-bound sort of increments. So the project shouldn't go on forever before you measure if it's successful. It shouldn't really be more than 30 days. You should be looking at fast turnarounds, looking at what can this deliver for us within 30 days. And that really avoids it from becoming something that is essentially a fun project to something that ultimately you want to be a fundamental project, something that can help your organization get a competitive advantage. And there are so many areas AI can help you. So You could think about sales. So like, how do you qualify your leads? Could you clean up your pipelines? It could be across finance, monotonous and repetitive processes like extracting data from invoices and reconciling them, procure to purchase processes, understanding what's happening with supplier prices. There's so many areas. Also across operations, how do you deal with customers? How do you make sure that your individual team members are following your standard operating procedures? I mean, I could sit here for probably 2 hours and think of all of the sorts of really interesting use cases that we're seeing across businesses where actually they're seeing real proof of value. Now, I really hope that's helped you with a mental model to think about how to approach your first AI implementation. But if you're structured about it, thoughtful about it, and you tie it back to business value, you really are going to set yourself up for success. Thank you so much again for listening into our Q&A this week. We really hope it's been helpful.